What's up, guys? Welcome back for another EVE Online solo Omega video. This I'm running some more of the Wormhole stuff today, and this is some footage from the C4 stuff that I've run the past couple days. And as much as Wormhole stuff has been really fun, it's kind of gotten to the point where it's kind of being repetitive for the most part for me. I'll probably end up doing a little bit more in the C5, C6 area, but more or less just like moving away from probably the Tengu and the Golem in the future. I might end up trying some of the higher end stuff in C6, maybe take the Dread in some of the higher ones, but for the most part, I've kind of gotten to enjoy the Wormhole space as a day tripper. But I do believe that if you really want to be successful in Wormhole space, you want to live there. If you have to live there in order to just kind of have sustainable income and everything like that. But yeah, so I think from probably a few more videos covering kind of the ratting and stuff in Wormhole space, maybe some mining stuff, but I'm really kind of starting to set my sights on Trig space and Poshman as being my next big, exploration target for everything. I'm gonna have to work on probably some standing stuff to kind of round out. I'm not gonna be able to probably do home systems on that. It's probably gonna end up being just border systems until my standings get kind of more or less where they need to be. As far as getting like value and stuff out of Wormhole space, these past few weeks has not been really difficult. I really just kind of like go around and look for an entrance, and then I go in and I look for basically a like C4, C3 or below wormhole from high sec. I'll go in and pretty much do what I gotta do, and then bring the blue loot out and sell it that way. I'm not really chaining more than one wormhole system together and then backtracking to get back out. It's kind of more been like I've been just kind of going in, running a thing, coming out, dumping the loot, and doing it that way, just to kind of keep things simple, which obviously takes a lot of time, and I think that like kind of kills your ISK per hour, as opposed to if you were like living in Wormhole space and you could kind of just go down the pipeline and run a bunch of stuff and then head back to your home system and chill. So I think probably in the future I might try to drop a structure or maybe a pause even and just try to do like the living thing. But right now I'm kind of starting to get into the point where I've been running Marauders and Dreads and stuff like that for quite a while, but I'm kind of starting to get more into the smaller ship kind of thing. I might actually end up taking anything like a cruiser or below, maybe not even a cruiser. I might even just like experiment a lot with like frigates and stuff like that. But Poshman, I'm going to try to take something that's a little bit more nimble, because it's kind of the gameplay style I've been kind of enjoying lately. And hopefully I'll have some pretty good experiences with that. I've been in Poshman before, doing some mining out there and just kind of messing around. But I really need to kind of work on my standings there, just to kind of be able to lean into it. I think it's going to be a lot like Wormhole space, where you're going to want to commit to it so that you can have the standings in order to do like docking, repair, and a bunch of different stuff, and get into the home systems to really make it valuable. I think if you're hanging out in border systems, it's going to get pretty repetitive pretty fast, which I've messed around with it in the past, but going back in with a little bit more of a different perspective and some more fresh eyes and everything. So hopefully that'll work out really well. But these two sites that you see me running here, these are, they're decent income, but a little bit more time consuming than I think I really prefer. And I've really started, like I said, I've really started to enjoy just running like the cheaper ships, doing like just a lot of grindy stuff. So like instead of taking like a really expensive Marauder and doing a decent site where I can make like 70 to 80 mil, I kind of prefer doing like the cheaper T1 stuff and just doing a lot of volume and moving around quite a bit, as this would be kind of like my main enjoyment for the most part. But I know for this series we did nullsec in December. Wormhole has been kind of the majority of the time I've done in January. I'm thinking we're going to probably try to kick off Poshman there in February. I'm also looking to start like a mining series for the miners out there, and setting some sort of a goal for that. I've got a bunch of extra characters that aren't really doing anything right now, so I'm still, solo Omega is still the main series on the channel. But once we're done with Poshman, I have no idea what we're going to do next. Maybe faction warfare, incursion, or maybe we'll just straight up go like all the way in to PvP and just do some stupid fun stuff and everything. But hopefully everything. I'm also just kind of looking forward to just being a little bit more. I mean, I've already been kind of like a nomad for the most part. I play by myself anyway, especially like in Null and stuff. But since I'm not in an alliance anymore, I think it's gonna be really fun just to kind of go wherever I want to go and do whatever I want to do, and not really worry about losses or whatever, and just kind of be a free roamer. A lot of the things that I want to do for that are a little bit further out, since I'm waiting on skills to be a little more versatile and things. But I do kind of want to like try to find a good low sec system to just kind of chill in for a while. That's probably one of my biggest gaps in Eve, is just kind of living in low sec, getting used to that kind of like Wild West mentality and things like that. Finding my groove in low sec is probably the biggest challenge I have for myself. I mean, I've done everything else. I've done, Poshman, Wormhole, null sec, and really low sec is kind of like the last frontier, I guess you could say. And it's one of those things that I really want to get into and kind of experience to give myself a more rounded experience and perspective overall. Because normally, if I'm not doing, if I'm not out actively doing things in Wormhole or in any other parts of space, I'm kind of just sitting in Jita doing like market manipulation, which obviously can get, it's fun, but it's also kind of like a long game, so there's not a whole lot to do day to day in the interim. So filling that with probably some PvP, faction warfare, and just kind of micro activities to kind of change things up is going to be one of the major goals I'm going to have for this. But this is probably going to be the C4 stuff I did yesterday, and the stuff that you're watching now is probably going to be some of the last content I'll do. I'll do some mining. I'll probably go C6, take like some sort of mining ship into C6 and do some mining, just to kind of show you what that's like, and probably touch a little bit more on the C5, C6 rat sites. A lot of the stuff is a little bit higher end, so it requires multiple accounts to really do it efficiently, which, for the purpose of this series, it's been mainly a solo account kind of perspective, so some of that stuff is kind of limited to what we want to do with that. But I'll see what I can do as far as, kind of rounding out everything that you could expect if you want to go into like Wormhole space and do things. Data relic sites are okay, but for the most part in like C1 through C3, they're essentially the same as like they are in nullsec. I mean, they're just different, you get the different random pirate variants, but the value is pretty much the same for that. And then like the higher end data relics, once you get into like C4, C5, C6, have just rats added to them. They're okay. You get like artifacts and things like that, but overall I just didn't find them too engaging. That's why I haven't really done a whole lot of content on them. But anyway, thank you for watching, and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.